The Syrian army liberates almost all of Aleppo and leads thousands of civilians to safety via humanitarian corridors. Elsewhere in Syria, fighting breaks out in the ancient city of Palmyra, with ISIL making a desperate bid to recapture the city. Also ahead this RT News Hour, in the US, President-elect Donald Trump blasts a CIA report claiming Russia helped him defeat Hillary Clinton in November's election. And a Danish MP's proposal to shoot at migrants trying to cross the Mediterranean into Europe is slammed by politicians and the public alike. We get reaction to his remarks. Around the clock across the world, this is RT International. My name's Ewan O'Neill. Welcome to the programme. Our top story this hour: in what could be the decisive offensive in Syria, government forces have been making significant gains in Aleppo, liberating almost all of the city from militants. Fully liberate Aleppo, it will be considered one of the military's most important victories since the war broke out 5 years ago. And it could pave the way for residents to start rebuilding their lives once again in the city.
أبوي ميت صار له 5 أيام.
His father is dead until from 5 days ago. كيف مات بابا؟
وظيفة.
Asma and her 5 younger siblings were picked up by the Red Crescent amongst the masses fleeing what was rebel-held Aleppo. They were dropped off at this orphanage a few days ago, dirty, hungry, and too traumatized to talk about their ordeal. All staff here know are their names, that their father is dead, and that they've lost contact with their mother. Musa doesn't know how old he is, but his new carers think he's no older than 8. He has no recollection of life before the war. He says he walked, alone, for a day and a half to get to the Nayrab Palestinian camp in Aleppo. His account of what happened to his parents, brothers and sisters is chilling.
نمشي مثل عادي. نمشي مثل عادي مسكونا.
صار يوصوا عليكم.
إيه صار يوصوا علينا. ضلينا نحن عم نرقد وما في حاجز تكمشنا منه عطانا لهم صاروا يضربونا ضربوا أهلي وقالوا لي أنت روح.
Much of the help for the tens of thousands who fled comes not from the UN, but from groups like Liwa al-Quds, a pro-government militia.
We opened the centre on our own initiative. We care for families and children whose homes were destroyed by the war, who were kicked out of their homes, or had families killed by the terrorists. We provide medical and social services. We work night and day to receive families from the east.
The fighters here are the closest thing to family Jamil has had for the past 2 years.
كنا عايشين مبسوطين وبعدين صارت الحرب
وين عائلتك؟
ميتين كلهم. ضربوهم قذيفة المسلحين.
عندك أخت وأخوات؟ شاد؟
بنت 3 بنات وشاب.
At 14, Jamil should be thinking about his schoolwork. Instead, he says he plans to be just like the fighters who took him in when he had nowhere else to go.
Like most of the homes here, Jamil's house was destroyed, his family inside killed by the rebel shells that hit it. Some of the homes haven't been completely ruined and they still have families living inside. They have nowhere else to go. Now, the UN says that 1 in 4 Syrian children have been affected by this war. But here in Aleppo, that seems like a gross understatement. It's virtually impossible to meet a child whose life hasn't been touched by the fighting. Children under 6 have known nothing but being surrounded by war. Their lives have been marked by being uprooted, violently torn apart from their homes and their families. And with no end in sight to this conflict, their futures are tainted with uncertainty. Lizzie Phelan reporting for RT from Aleppo.